Welcome, dear listener, and welcome back to Sam's Sleepy Adventures, a quiet little corner of the night where you can drift off gently through some of the world's most magical places. Tonight, we're traveling somewhere cool, somewhere ancient, somewhere shaped by fire and ice, by stories whispered through long winters, and by landscapes so vast and peaceful. They feel like dreams made of stone and sky. Tonight, we're drifting through Iceland. Before we begin, take a slow, easy breath, the kind that settles softly into your chest, like warm light through a frosted window. Let your shoulders loosen. Let your jaw soften. Let your thoughts settle, like fresh snow falling quietly over a sleeping town. And if you'd like, you can share in the comments where in the world you're listening from tonight, and what time it is for you. It's always magical seeing how many distant places meet together here in the soft glow of these sleepy journeys. If you enjoy these calm, wandering stories, you're welcome to subscribe so you can drift off with a new slow adventure whenever you need one. But for now, let's leave the present behind and wander somewhere colder, quieter, untouched by ancient natural magic. We begin with Fact 50, which arrives like the soft chill of winter air, whispering across an empty landscape. Fact 50 carries us into Iceland's vast lava fields, endless stretches of frozen black rock, left behind by ancient eruptions. Over centuries, moss has grown across them, thick and spongy, pale green and soft under the fingertips. Walking here feels like stepping across another planet entirely. Quiet, cushiony, and strangely peaceful. The moss muffles each footstep until the world becomes silent, except for the faint breath of the wind. As that silence wraps gently around us, we drift now into Fact 49, slipping in like a cool gust from the north. Fact 49 brings us to Iceland's geothermal wonders. Beneath the ground, steam moves through ancient fractures, bubbling up through vents and hot springs. Pools of milky blue water sit among dark volcanic rock, their surfaces steaming gently. In the cold air, the warmth rises like a soothing sigh, fogging the world into a slow, dreamlike haze. With that haze still drifting around us, we glide softly into Fact 48, which comes with the faint glow of a distant horizon. Fact 48 is the midnight sun. In summer, the sun never truly sets in Iceland. It lingers low in the sky, casting long, golden light across fields, mountains, and quiet villages. The world glows softly, as if held inside a warm lantern. Time slows, shadows stretch, and the air feels gentle and endless. Even at 2 or 3 in the morning, the sky remains buttery and pale like the softest beginning of dawn. And now, As that endless twilight wraps around us, we move deeper into calm, with Fact 47 arriving like snowflakes drifting in slow motion. Fact 47 brings us the sound of Icelandic horses, small, sturdy, and calm, with thick manes that sway softly in the wind. Their steps are gentle, their breaths warm and steady, and they move with a special gait called the tolt. Smooth, rhythmic, almost floating. Riding one feels like gliding across air, each step soft and comforting like the rocking of a cradle. Now, onward we drift into Fact 46, arriving with the soft rumble of distant thunder. But it isn't thunder at all. Fact 46 introduces us to Iceland's waterfalls, tall, powerful, yet strangely calming. There are thousands across the island, from narrow ribbons of water slipping down mossy cliffs to massive curtains that roar gently into deep canyons. Stand near one and you feel a fine mist, cool and refreshing, on your face. The sound is steady, endless and soothing, a natural lullaby born from melting snow. Letting that mist settle around us, we drift forward into Fact 45, which comes with a quiet shiver of warmth. Fact 45 reveals Iceland's geothermal homes. For more than a century, Icelanders have heated their houses with natural hot water that flows directly from the earth. Pipes, hidden beneath the floors, carry warmth into every room, creating homes that feel like cozy havens against the cold. Radiators hum softly, windows glow with warm light, and the air inside is gentle. No matter how icy the winds outside may be, wrapped in that comfort, we now slip quietly into Fact 44, arriving with a scent of fresh, icy air. Fact 44 leads us to Iceland's glaciers. These giants of ice glow blue in the shadows and white under the sun. Their surfaces crack gently as tiny crystals settle, and deep inside you can hear soft creaks as the glacier shifts ever so slightly in its slow, ancient journey. Walking across one feels like moving through frozen time, cold, still, and endlessly serene. And now, like a warm breath against cold glass, we drift into Fact 43, sliding in with the faintest echo of footsteps on snow. Fact 43 introduces Iceland's long, quiet winters. The days grow short, the nights stretch long, and the world glows softly with lamps, candles, and the warmth of living rooms filled with blankets and books. People gather together in small, cozy spaces, sharing warm drinks while snow falls silently outside. There's a word for this feeling. In Icelandic, hygge, a deep, calm coziness that settles the heart. Letting that coziness sink in, we wander onward into Fact 42, arriving like the whisper of a crackling fire. Fact 42 brings us to Iceland's volcanic history. Underneath the island, magma flows slowly, like molten breath. Over time, eruptions have shaped the land. Fields of black rock, towering cliffs, craters that fill with still blue lakes. Even now you can sometimes smell the faint scent of sulfur carried by the breeze, a reminder of the Earth's quiet power beneath your feet. And gently, now we move into Fact 41, which drifts in like the soft call of a seabird. Fact 41 takes us to Iceland's coastline, a rugged, peaceful border where black sand beaches meet white foam. In slow, rhythmic waves, basalt columns rise like ancient organ pipes, and tide pools glisten as tiny shells and stones shimmer beneath the water. The ocean breathes steadily, its voice deep and calming, rolling in and out in endless, soothing cycles. Now, following the ocean's slow rhythm, we glide into Fact 40, arriving with a gentle burst of warmth and sweetness. Fact 40 brings us to traditional Icelandic hot springs. Many are natural pools tucked into the hills, small bowls of warm water, surrounded by rocks, steam rising in soft tendrils into the cold air, sliding into one. Feels like easing into a warm embrace, muscles relaxing, breath softening, mind unwinding in the quiet of nature. And slowly now, like drifting between steam and sky, we slip into Fact 39, which comes with the faint shimmer of moonlight on snow. Fact 39 reveals the Arctic fox dash dash, Iceland's only native land mammal. Small and delicate, with thick fur that changes color. With the seasons, it moves lightly across the snow, with barely a sound. Its presence is gentle, almost ethereal, a tiny guardian of Iceland's quietest places. With that soft creature guiding us, we drift further into Fact 38, arriving like the echo of an ancient story told by firelight. Fact 38 takes us to Iceland's sagas, long poetic tales written more than 1,000 years ago. They tell of explorers, settlers, and families living through harsh winters. But despite their age, these stories feel peaceful, steady, and filled with ordinary human calm. Reading a saga on a quiet night feels like letting old voices rock you gently to sleep. As those ancient voices settle, we drift softly into Fact 37, which arrives like the glow of a candle in a window. Fact 37 brings us to the northern lights. Soft waves of green, sometimes pink or blue, moving slowly across the sky on cold, clear nights. They drift, they shimmer, they ripple like curtains of light, swaying in a silent breeze. Watching them feels like witnessing the sky dream. And now, with that dream lingering above us, we step gently into Fact 36, arriving like warm breath against frosted glass. Fact 36 reveals Icelandic turf houses, small dwellings built with thick earth walls and grass-covered roofs. Inside, the rooms are warm, quiet, and filled with the scent of wood and wool. During storms, wind sweeps softly over the grassy roofs, making the house feel like a cozy burrow in the hillside. And finally, for this first part of our journey, we drift into Fact 35, slipping in like a final snowflake, falling gently from a quiet sky. Fact 35 carries us to Iceland's wide open fields, where sheep wander slowly through the hills, their wool thick and soft, their movements unhurried. They graze calmly under low grey clouds or endless summer light. The bells around their necks sometimes jingle faintly in the breeze, a tiny, soothing sound in the peaceful vastness of the land. Let your breath soften, let your thoughts loosen, like snow drifting across open fields, and allow Iceland's calm landscapes to settle quietly in the back of your mind. And now, dear listener, as we continue drifting through the quiet, icy beauty of Iceland, we find ourselves slipping gently into Fact 34, arriving like a soft breath of wind across a snowy valley. Fact 34 reveals Iceland's deep tradition of storytelling. Long before electricity, before roads, before modern comforts, families gathered inside warm turf houses. On long winter nights, the wind would whisper outside, snow would settle against the walls, and inside, candles flickered. As stories flowed like warm tea, tales of trolls, hidden folk, spirits, and ancient journeys moved from one voice to another, dash, dash, slow, rhythmic, carrying centuries of memory. The quiet of winter made every word feel deeper, softer, closer to the heart. And as those old stories settle in our thoughts, we drift onward into Fact 33, slipping in with the faint hum of distant waves. Fact 33 brings us to Iceland's black sand beaches. These shores are made from cooled volcanic rock ground fine over years and years. by the ocean's steady movements. The sand is soft beneath the feet, dark as night, yet shimmering faintly under the sun. Waves roll in slowly, their white foam glowing gently against the black shore. A calming contrast, a rhythm as steady as breathing. Letting that rhythm guide us, we now float toward Fact 32, arriving like the soft creak of wooden steps in a quiet cabin. Fact 32 introduces Iceland's old wooden churches. Simple, small, built from dark timber that has weathered countless storms. Inside, the air smells of old wood and cool stone. Light slips through narrow windows, falling gently across hand-painted altarpieces from centuries past. There's no noise, no rush, just the deep, peaceful quiet that fills sacred spaces. With that quiet still echoing, we drift further into Fact 31, sliding in with a warm, comforting fragrance. Fact 31 takes us to Iceland's tradition of baking kleinur, twisted pastries fried golden in warm kitchens. Families make them especially in winter, dusting them with a touch of sugar and sharing them with hot coffee. The smell drifts through homes, soft and sweet, wrapping around you like a blanket straight from the hearth. It's the kind of comfort that makes even the coldest evening feel gentle. And now, carried by that gentle warmth, we move into Fact 30, arriving with the hush of snow settling over quiet hills. Fact 30 reveals the beauty of Iceland's remote cabins. Scattered across the countryside, some sit by frozen lakes, others beneath towering cliffs. Inside, you'll find a fireplace crackling softly, wool blankets draped over wooden chairs, and windows that frame endless white landscapes. Nights here are peaceful. Just the sound of the wind, the creak of timber, and your own slow breathing. As that peace deepens, we drift gently onward into Fact 29, arriving like a soft whisper of steam. Fact 29 brings us to Iceland's hidden hot pots, tiny natural pools tucked away in valleys or behind hills. Reaching them often requires a quiet walk through open fields, the crunch of frost beneath your boots. But the moment you slip into the warm water with cold air brushing your face and silence stretching all around the world feels still, perfectly, completely still. And now, with steam rising softly around us, we drift into Fact 28, coming in like the echo of a distant bird call. Fact 28 reveals Iceland's puffins, small, gentle they nest on grassy cliffs, their little bodies rocking as the wind moves through them. They take flight, their wings flap quickly, almost comically, Fact 27 takes us to Iceland's quiet fjords, narrow waterways framed by mountains that rise steeply on either side. Water reflects sky, mountains reflect water, and fishing boats drift slowly across the surface without disturbing a thing. The air tastes clean, the world stands still, and the calm sinks deeply into your bones. And with that stillness beneath us, we drift softly into Fact 26, slipping in with a cool northern breeze. Fact 26 brings us to Iceland's quiet gravel roads, long stretches of open path that wind through mossy plains past ancient lava flows and between gentle hills. Driving here is peaceful, the tires making a soft, crunching sound, the landscape stretching endlessly ahead. There's no rush, no noise, just the quiet hum of movement through untouched space. Letting that movement guide us, we slide now into Fact 25, arriving with the delicate shimmer of sunlight on frost. Fact 25 reveals Iceland's tradition of knitting lopapeysa, warm wool sweaters with soft circular patterns around the neck. The wool is thick, earthy, naturally insulating. When worn, it feels like being wrapped in calm, steady wool. Many are hand-knitted, each one carrying the gentle rhythm of patient, careful hands. And onward we drift like snow carried by the wind into Fact 24, arriving with the low hum of distant geothermal vents. Fact 24 introduces Iceland's highlands, vast empty expanses of rock, ash, and shimmering light. Standing here feels like standing at the edge of the world. The land is quiet, untouched, stretching out in soft greys and muted greens. Wind moves gently over the ground, and clouds pass slowly overhead, casting long shadows that drift like calm waves across the earth. Following those drifting shadows, we slip softly into Fact 23, arriving like a whispered legend. Fact 23 brings us to the hidden folk stories of Iceland, tales of small, unseen beings said to live in rocks and hills. People have told these stories for centuries, speaking of tiny homes inside boulders and gentle spirits who prefer quiet places. Whether believed literally or not, the stories add a sense of magic to the landscape a quiet reminder that nature here is alive, with old, peaceful mysteries. With those mysteries lingering, we now drift into Fact 22, arriving with the soft glide of snow across ice. Fact 22 reveals Iceland's frozen waterfalls. In winter, some waterfalls freeze mid-flow, forming tall columns of pale blue ice. The sound changes from rushing water to deep, gentle silence. Sometimes you can hear tiny cracks forming like faint chimes, echoing inside the ice. It's the sound of winter breathing, and slowly, like stepping through a world of frost, we glide toward Fact 21, arriving with a warm hint of flickering flame. Fact 21 carries us to Iceland's tradition of candlelit evenings. During long winter nights, homes glow with the soft light of candles placed on windowsills and tables. The flames dance gently, casting warm golden shapes on wooden walls. It's a simple comfort, a little light against a long, dark dash, and it fills the heart with calm and quiet ease. And now, finally, we drift into Fact 20, the closing whisper of this second part, arriving like a final snowflake, falling softly through still air. Fact 20 reveals the soothing quiet of Iceland's winter snowfalls. When fresh snow blankets the land, sound fades away. Footsteps soften, wind hushes, and the world becomes a peaceful, white silence. It's a silence you can feel warm and gentle, as if the whole island is tucking itself in for the night. And as we pause here at Fact 20, let your breath soften, let your body grow heavier in rest, and allow Iceland's calm, frozen beauty to drift through your thoughts, like snow moving slowly across an endless sky. As we drift deeper into Iceland's quiet, icy dreamscape, we find ourselves gently arriving at Fact 19, slipping in like a soft breath on a frosted window. Fact 19 brings us to Iceland's geothermal greenhouses. Even in harsh winters, warm water from beneath the earth flows through pipes, creating gentle pockets of warmth, where tomatoes, cucumbers, and herbs grow in calm, steady light. Inside the greenhouses, humidity hangs gently in the air. Plants sway softly, and the world smells fresh, earthy, alive. Snow may fall quietly outside, but within these glowing shelters, everything flourishes in peaceful warmth. Letting that warmth settle around us, we drift onward into Fact 18, arriving like steam drifting from a warm cup in cold hands. Fact 18 reveals the tradition of Icelandic coffee culture. Despite the cold, or perhaps because of it, Icelanders drink more coffee than most countries on Earth. Cafes glow softly in winter with wooden tables, quiet music, and the comforting aroma of freshly brewed coffee. People sip slowly, talk quietly, and watch the snowy world outside. Through windows fogged with warmth, it's a ritual of calm, a gentle pause in everyday life. And as we follow that gentle pause, we move softly into fact 17, sliding in with the hush of footsteps across untouched snow. Fact 17 takes us to Iceland's serene national parks. Places like Thingvellir, where continents drift apart in slow, silent movements. Here you can walk between towering cliffs of dark rock, their surfaces rough and ancient. Streams run clear and cold, rippling softly over smooth stones. The air is crisp, the silence deep, and every breath feels pure, as if drawn from an untouched world. With that purity lingering, we drift deeper into fact 16, arriving like a soft glow behind winter clouds. Fact 16 reveals Iceland's geothermal swimming pools, found in nearly every town. On cold evenings, locals soak in warm, mineral-rich water, while snowflakes drift down and melt instantly against the skin. The contrast of warm and cold creates a dreamy sensation. Steam rising, voices hushed, and the night sky stretching endlessly above. It's a gentle immersion into perfect stillness. And now, gliding between steam and silence, we move into fact 15, arriving with a soft crunch of fresh snow beneath wool-lined boots. Fact 15 brings us to Iceland's winter walks. Paths wind through forests dusted with snow, past frozen ponds and tiny streams whispering beneath ice. The world becomes a study in whites and greys, muted and peaceful. Every footstep sounds cushioned, as though the earth itself is tucking you into its quiet embrace. As we follow that snowy path, we drift gently toward fact 14, slipping into view, like the distant glow of a lighthouse through fog. Fact 14 introduces Iceland's coastal lighthouses. Small, solitary towers, painted in bright colors, to stand out against the grey sea. Inside, a soft, rotating light sweeps across the dark water in slow, rhythmic patterns. From a distance, the light looks gentle, almost sleepy, like a calm heartbeat in the cold coastal night. And now, guided by that soft pulse, we drift into fact 13, arriving like a quiet melody carried on a winter breeze. Fact 13 takes us to Icelandic folk music, soft, slow, often sung with gentle harmonies that rise and fall like waves in a calm bay. Many melodies are old, passed down through generations, sung during long nights to keep spirits warm. Their simple songs, steady and soothing, made to cradle the mind in peaceful stillness. Letting those harmonies echo softly, we slip now into Fact 12, arriving with the shimmering hush of ice under moonlight. Fact 12 reveals Iceland's ice caves, glittering blue chambers, carved naturally by meltwater below glaciers. Inside, the walls glow with layers of ancient ice, smooth and translucent like frozen waves. When the wind blows outside, you can sometimes hear a gentle, low hum resonate through the ice, a quiet song sung by the glacier itself. And now, following that icy lullaby, we drift into Fact 11, arriving with the scent of cool air and warm flower. Fact 11 introduces Iceland's traditional rye bread, often baked underground, using geothermal heat. Dough is placed in a pot, buried near a hot spring, and left to bake slowly for an entire day. When unearthed, the bread is warm, soft, and faintly sweet, a comforting treat, often enjoyed with butter that melts instantly into the tender crumb. A simple pleasure as gentle as the land itself. With that warmth still lingering, we drift deeper into Fact 10, arriving like snow gently brushing against a window pane. Fact 10 brings us to Iceland's snowy forests. Though not as vast as other countries, the birch and pine woods here have a quiet magic. In winter, branches lean under the weight of snow, creating white archways over silent paths. Animal tracks dot the powdery ground, each print crisp and still. Walking here feels sacred, a slow, peaceful journey through nature's softest moments. And now, guided by those silent tracks, we arrive softly at Fact 9, slipping in like a calm wave over smooth stones. Fact 9 reveals Iceland's pebble beaches, stretches of smooth, rounded stones that glisten under the sky. When waves roll in, they push the pebbles together with a soft, rattling sound, a gentle chorus of shifting earth and water. The sound is soothing, steady, almost musical dash dash, a natural lullaby born from the sea. As that lullaby echoes, we drift on into Fact 8, arriving like a flicker of firelight on old wooden walls. Fact 8 takes us to Iceland's log cabins and mountain huts, shelters that hikers use when traveling across remote landscapes. Inside, the air smells of pine and smoke. Lanterns glow softly. Wool blankets lie folded in quiet corners. These huts offer refuge from wind and snow, creating small pockets of warmth and safety in the wide, cold wilderness. Letting that safety wrap around us, we slip gently into Fact 7, arriving like mist rising over water. Fact 7 brings us to Iceland's peaceful lakes, mirrors of stillness, that reflect mountains, clouds, and the wide, slow-moving sky. At dawn, thin layers of mist hover just above the surface, drifting with the slightest breeze. Birds step delicately near the shore, their movement soft and unhurried. The whole scene feels like the earth breathing in peaceful silence. And with that breath, we drift into Fact 6, arriving with a soft whisper from deep beneath the earth. Fact 6 reveals Iceland's volcanic caves, tunnels formed long ago by flowing lava. Inside, the air is cool and still. Walls ripple with textures created by fire, yet the world inside feels surprisingly calm. The silence is deep, thick, almost delicate dash. A reminder that even fire occasionally leaves behind quiet beauty. Following that quiet, we step softly into Fact 5, arriving like the gentle sway of wool drying by the fire. Fact 5 brings us to the soothing presence of Icelandic sheepdogs, small, fluffy, loyal companions who trot calmly beside their humans. They have thick fur, bright eyes, and a gentle nature that makes them beloved across the island. Their soft paws patter lightly across wooden floors, and their warm, steady presence brings comfort through long winters. And now, with that companionship warming us, we drift into Fact 4, arriving like sunlight filtering through pale winter clouds. Fact 4 takes us to Iceland's quiet rural churches. White or red buildings standing alone against wide fields of green or snow. Inside, the wooden pews creak softly and candles flicker gently along the windowsills. Even the smallest whisper echoes softly through the still, peaceful air. It's a place for calm, for breath, for gentle reflection. As that reflection settles, we glide into Fact 3, arriving like a whisper over calm water. Fact 3 reveals the beauty of Iceland's midnight fog, thin veils of mist that drift slowly across fields and lakes in the pale summer light. It moves softly, silently, blurring the edges of hills and houses. until the world looks dreamy, half awake, wrapped in a delicate haze. Walking through it feels like wandering inside a cloud that has paused just to rest beside you. Letting that cloud drift on, we move gently into fact 2, arriving like a final ember, glowing in a quiet hearth. Fact 2 brings us to Iceland's deep sense of community. In small towns, neighbors look after one another. Doors are rarely locked, and people gather to share food, stories, warmth. Winter storms may isolate villages, but they bring people closer, binding them with kindness, as soft and steady as falling snow. And now, with kindness warming our thoughts, we drift into fact 1, the final whisper of our Iceland journey. Fact 1 reminds us that Iceland is, above all, a land of quiet magic dash dash. A place where fire warms the earth, ice carves the land, and silence settles in gentle layers over every mountain, field, and fjord. It is vast, calm, and deeply soothing, a landscape that invites your breath to slow, your shoulders to drop, and your mind to settle into peaceful stillness. As this journey closes, let your body relax, let your thoughts drift, and let Iceland's soft, icy calm carry you gently towards sleep whenever you're ready for another country in this same dreamy style. Sleep